You are Locked On Rays, your daily Tampa Bay Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, my name is Kevin Weiss.
I'm Ulises Sambrano.
It is your boy, Evan Closky.
And we love having him on the program, as do our listeners. We are the host of the Locked On Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Be sure you check out and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Locked On Rays, as well as all the other podcasting platforms. We're also on social media, Twitter and Instagram at Locked On Rays, and you can email us anytime, lockedonrays@gmail.com. Voice memos preferred. Evan, the Rays are coming off an off day and have a 4-game series doubleheader on Saturday against the Boston Red Sox, who
that's a new one.
Yeah. As of this recording, they are last in the AL East, which probably still means they're a decent enough team. But I want to get your thoughts before we get into this series a little bit. Your general synopsis of the Rays month of May. They go 17-12. They become the first team to win 40 games in the 2023 campaign. And I still see a lot of boo-hooers around, and I don't get it.
I agree with you. And I think the best way to put this in perspective is on April 30th. Let me pull this up because I pulled it today for TV. April 30th, the Rays were 23-6, which understandably so, is pretty crazy. They were 3.5 games up on Baltimore, 4.5 games up on Toronto, and then 8-8 with the Yankees and Red Sox. Mm-hmm. Now let's zip to May 31st, and they actually gained a half a game. So 4 games on Baltimore, 6 games on the Yankees now. The Yankees gained 2 games. They're the only team in the division to gain on the Rays. And the Blue Jays and Red Sox are now at 10 and 10.5 respectively. So I think fans, look, the bullpen's an issue. We get it. And to their credit, they wiggled out of crazy damage on Wednesday in Chicago. But you know, I think that was just more of a regression to the mean on some of the ones they've blown in the past. That's what I'm telling you sometimes is like, you're going to win one where you shouldn't have won one. And Wednesday was a classic example. The Rays had no business winning that. Now, I would argue that on Tuesday, they should have won that game and got very unlucky. But I get it. The lack of high leverage, dependable guys is a bit concerning. It seems like Jason Adam has figured it out, though. You know, a walk and a hit kind of creep around there. But as long as he has a strikeout pitch, I think we're all cool with him there. So it's not like the team's perfect. And I get it. Fans want to poke holes in that. But they are good. They are so good. And I think some forget that May was going to be their hardest month of the year. And they got out of it 5 games north of 500. Mm-hmm. And you know, I don't think anything's going to be as cushy as what April was as far as the schedule is concerned. But, you know, entering June, you got 4 games against Oakland. You have a home series against the Royals. That's also 4 games. Mm-hmm. You know, maybe the Padres right now, this is a great time to play them. They're not hitting on all cylinders. You know, the kind of the ones that you're circling on is one, you want to take care of Boston, who I believe this entire month is the only time they play within they got Baltimore for 2 games. They got Baltimore for 2 games. So you're going to circle the divisional matchups. You got Baltimore coming home. You want to at least just split that thing. And then, you know, probably the second week of June is the toughest, hosting the Twins in Texas, but at least you're home in a place where you're like fighting history of how many games you're going to win this year in your home ballpark. So, you know, that's what I was saying last week with, I believe they were going to pull 2 or 3 against the Dodgers just because they're a great home team and they figure it out. That was a crazy series. That's what you hope for, honestly, as a baseball fan. And yeah, back to your point, Kev. I mean, don't complain. It's not always going to be perfect. It's not always going to be 13-0. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. I think honestly the fandom and we said this when it was happening. enjoy it, but just know that, the L's are going to come. And, people get used to just winning. And so sometimes fans get a little bit irrational. Now, like you said, 17-12 in May, 5 over 500. This team has great base running, has tremendous defense, great starting pitching, an amazing
tremendous
offense.
defense outside of like 3 plays in Chicago, by the way.
Yeah, the Chicago series does have a little bit of an asterisk.
It was weird all across.
It was a little bit a weird series. But regardless, the only category of that is not really hitting in all cylinders is the bullpen. And everybody's blaming the bullpen. And we get it. It is a flaw. It is definitely a flaw. It is definitely a weakness. But having said that, with a very glaring weakness, you still went 17-12. It's really amazing in your toughest month.
And you went 17-12, and arguably 2 of those games you gave away. Probably should have been 9. So 17-12 is excellent in this stretch, and you probably should have been 19-10. So again, what's the longest winning streak that what's the longest losing streak that the Rays have had this season?
2
games.
Yeah.
2 games. Their worst stretch is probably losing 4 or 5, and jumble that up with losing 6 of 9. Yeah. So that's what we're looking at right now. What people have to also understand is because of that start that they had, they don't have to play. They don't need to chase the freaking 0-1 Mariners here. They just need to maintain their distance. Don't crumble. Don't crash. And this team is just doing what they have to do to salvage a series, win 1 of 3, take 2 of 3, split down the middle. They're doing what they have to do to give themselves a little bit of a cushion. And that's why I say, circle Boston, circle Baltimore, but more so Baltimore. When you have those matchups, you got to at least solidify ground. You can't lose the ground. And, it's going to be, as I told you, and a team like Baltimore that you're staring at, they have a long road trip coming at the back end of this year. That's going to be a tough one, even if they pull ahead of the Rays. To me, the Rays got through their kind of their hellish road trip, and they're kind of sitting in a good spot. There's still a lot of baseball to play.
You said circling Boston, the Rays are going to play them for 4 games in 3 days. First of all, the first question is, how do you feel about that little doubleheader on Saturday? And number 2, the Red Sox are scuffling. I believe they are 4-7 before Thursday's game. They got swept by the Angels. Yeah. They lost the Cincinnati series. As we're recording this, they're on the 7th, in the bottom of the 7th, and it's still tied 1-1. So they could get swept by the Reds in Fenway. So what do you expect? That's my second question.
And the Red Sox just pulled ahead 2-1.
Yeah, let me add to that real quick, just as a little addendum. I think Chris Sale had to exit the game that is going on right now. Corey Kluber is on the 60-day IL, if I recall. Their offense is solid, well-rounded, balanced. Their starting pitching is struggling. Again, ERAs that look like credit scores out there. And their defense, they've got the 5th most errors in baseball. So offense good, pitching bad, defense bad. Take it away, Evan.
Yeah, first off, the Rays will see Whitlock, who, if I remember correctly, is one of those pain in the sides for Tampa Bay.
Yep.
Just like similarly to Nick Pivetta, whenever he pitches against the Reds, I don't know why this guy is doing what he's doing. But you're right. The starting pitching's an issue. Look, entering the Cubs series, the Cubs were trash. They were also on a similar, they lost 7 of 9. I think they also got swept by Cincinnati. And then all of a sudden, to be fair, the Cubs couldn't hit for anything.
Right.
Neither could the Rays. But first off, about the doubleheader, I actually love it. I think it's, the Red Sox are one of 3 teams, which essentially is one of 6 teams, because the opponent you have to play has got to be a part of that are experimenting this idea that instead of having the wraparound game on Monday, which is the way that the schedule was originally outlined, they were going to be a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday series. They said, screw that. Let's do a true doubleheader which is the first time they're having one since the 70s, I believe, in Boston, a scheduled one, that is. And let's just build in an off day for us, an off day that we wouldn't normally have. So, yeah, Saturday is going to be taxing on the players. You have to manage your staff. You have to call up somebody. I think that's probably the weird spot. But I think from a rest standpoint, from a travel standpoint, right, like, the Rays don't have to play in Boston on Monday and then come back to the Trop and play Minnesota on Tuesday. They get to really kind of get back in sync in their schedule a little bit. And I would imagine the players would prefer landing Sunday night in Tampa or St. Pete and having that Monday to kind of decompress. So I'm for that. Like, whatever. I'm going to hate it on Monday when I want to watch baseball, but on Saturday I'll be highly entertained. And I think that's probably best for the players. I would argue that's best for the Rays, a team that with extraordinary depth does well in a doubleheader situation. Not a lot of people can always double dip. You got to go into deeper parts of your staff. You'd have to call up a 27th player. We imagine that's probably going to be a Cooper Criswell or somebody to start that other matchup. So, they're not really scraping the barrel here. These are guys we've seen already multiple times throughout the season. But yeah, I mean, right, like 2 minimum. I'm not somebody who needs the Rays to do more than what they have to on the road. And for me, you have to split against the Red Sox minimum. Would love 3. I think 3 is ideal.
Yeah.
2 you accept, 1 is unacceptable. A sweep is yikes.
I tell you, if the Rays only win 1 against the Red Sox, Twitter might shut down with Rays fandom just losing their freaking minds for one reason or another.
So I mean, like
even if they split.
And that's a thing. There's, I don't like looking at the standings, but luckily when the Rays kind of hit a little bit of the rough patch, so did Baltimore to an extent. I think they lost 4 straight or something like that. I don't remember off the top of my head. But, Baltimore, for example, they got to fly out to, I think, San Francisco and then fly to Milwaukee. Like, that's their road trip. That's a crappy road trip.
Yeah, that sucks.
That's a stupid road trip for an East Coast team to fly all that way to go Pacific time to Central time to back at home. That's woof. So, I mean, I don't envy that situation for them.
No, I don't envy that either. And you know what? If I were to envy something, it would be somebody that is using Game Time to get their tickets to a concert, to a comedy show, maybe theater. Evan, are you a theater guy?
When in Rome, of course.
Of course. Why wouldn't you be? So today you can be next to Evan at a theater near you because
you can pay for me.
Exactly. You can do that too, and using Game Time, which is the fastest growing ticketing app in the country for a reason. You can get images of your seat before you buy. You buy the tickets in a matter of seconds, and they're sent directly to your phone. So today, get the tickets without the stress. Using Game Time, download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. That's LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed.
All right, we've got a mailbag question, something that we're trying to introduce more on the Evan Closky episodes, just to get his take on some of these. This from Sergio. He says, "Hey guys, I went to the last 2 games of the series at Wrigley Field. Mixed emotions from the last 2 games. My specific question or comment: while I didn't see him pitch in person for Monday's game, I was really impressed with the outing from Joe LaSorsa. What are your thoughts from his relief outing on Monday? I want to see him high leverage situations soon. The bullpen was way too shaky on Tuesday and Wednesday and could need a fresh look. It's a designated for assignment dumpster fire right now. Thank you, Sergio, Rays fan from Chicago." Well, Sergio, I'm sorry that you have to live in Chicago. Come to Florida. It's way better.
Chicago's a beautiful city, by the way. Nothing again. I love
Yeah.
Yeah, their politicians are full of hot air, but
Where are they now?
Yeah, exactly.
That's where the city got its nickname, Windy City. People think it's because of the weather. It's because of the goofy politicians.
Oh my goodness! Who would have ever thought about
Maybe
that?
it has a
locked on
homage.
Politics with Kevin Weiss. I can't wait for that one.
Oh, you're not stepping on that one. Regardless, to Sergio's point, Joe LaSorsa season.
Yeah. So, few thoughts. One, love LaSorsa myself, a guy that really thrived in kind of that World Baseball Classic environment, and worked his way up very quickly through the system. Went from WBC to AA to AAA to the majors. Don't get upset when LaSorsa is probably sent down for Sean Armstrong. So your enjoyment might be short-lived. He's probably the easiest roster move to make to bring Armstrong back up. Having said that, he still is kind of a lefty specialist. So I want to ease into that. It was really cool watching him. Classic Rays, funky sidewinder type. Incredible horizontal movement, which means he's hell for lefties. It made sense to bring up a guy like that against a Cubs lineup that boasts a lot of lefties. That's not a coincidence. There's a reason why they carried 4 lefties entering that series. Kevin Cash was well in his stable as far as whatever they were going to present. I don't know about high leverage. Let's not crown the guy after 2 innings against a Cubs team that is very much in the deepest part of a hitting slump. But I'm encouraged. Again, my number one thing with the bullpen is patience. You have to be able to ride these guys out for as long as you can before you ship them off. Look, Ryan Thompson, they're trying to fix some of his things down in AAA. He'll be back. It's crazy to me that Trevor Kelly ever gives up a run because of his motion is just so wacky, and it feels like his ball just dances and then just one floats right down the middle and then it's like pop. But there is, I don't know what else is kind of like out there. I don't really want to thrust youngsters into roles that I think are a little bit above their heads. You're going to love LaSorsa right now. What happens in an 8th inning scenario where he comes in and blows the lead completely? I bet you won't be saying all these positive things about him.
But you won't know until you try. I know where you're coming from, but I take the 180 on this because this is a guy, like you said, is coming from the World Baseball Classic. We saw him succeed there, go from AA to AAA to the majors. Funky delivery. I love that. There's something about the moment, the confidence that something prior can build to your future. And I feel like this is the moment for him that he has been building a lot of confidence throughout 2023. I love that you said he's a lefty specialist because when I tell you that these names, Verdugo, Devers, Yoshida, Casas, lefty. And when you say Sean Armstrong is coming back up, hey, guess what? Why bring down a lefty for a righty when you can do the other name that you said, Trevor Kelly, put him down a righty for Sean Armstrong. So
and there will be that tinkering. And I do want to say that Armstrong has to come off the 60-day. So they also have to take somebody off the roster completely. Who that is going to be is going to be a bit interesting.
Yeah.
So I'm very curious how they're going to handle that. Are they going to be willing to allow Ben Heller to possibly float out there and maybe sift through waivers?
Could some of this all have been mitigated by not trading Brooks Raley in December?
Maybe. I think there's a little bit of I think about that move and wonder if there was a little bit, and I don't use arrogance in the literal term of it, but a little bit of we find relief pitchers wherever. The Mets were desperate
Little
for
hubris,
a lefty.
if you will.
Hubris is a good
Raise
word.
hubris.
Hubris.
We don't care. Yeah, we don't care what their name is or what they're getting paid or how much experience they have. We can make them good.
Look, relief pitchers are very volatile. And who's to say that Brooks Raley is going to be amazing this year versus, that he maybe takes a step back, whatever their stuff is telling him. And if a team is willing to overpay for him, they might just say, go ahead. We got some people in here we're totally cool with. And doesn't really work out the way that you think it's going to work out. So yeah, there certainly is. I do want to say there certainly is a tough decision there. I would imagine that they are going to take a pitcher off
Zach,
the 40 man. It could be.
Zach Littell?
I would say Littell is probably an option. I don't know how that works with the 15-day IL thing, but it's going to be it's going to be a tough decision for them. For me, I would say the easiest solution might be like a Ben Heller. I don't think you lose anything by taking Ben Heller off the 40 man. If somebody wants to scoop him up, that's tough noogies. I like Ben Heller a lot. I'm just saying, what else you can do?
That's what you're saying.
You're not gonna just let Brujan go. There's no point taking somebody from the hitting side, in my opinion, off the 40 man. So I just it's a tough one.
I'll tell you what La Sorsa has working in his favor, and if you get a chance, watch some of his workout videos and hype videos on YouTube. They are kind of a treat to watch, but he does have the look of 6'5", 215 pounds, brings some fire, some intensity, staring down at you. He looks like he's been there, done that before. So it's kind of sort of the battle of that relief role, if you will. So I feel like that for him.
I am a little bit worried. What was his fastball? I'm
not saying he's a
I guess he throws like a
baller, but just his facial.
He has a sinker that runs at 87 miles per hour. He's got a changeup at 82, 83, and he's got the slider for 75. And everything worked in his favor. I would say the hard contact was there. There's just, it's such a small sample size. I don't know.
We can't say anything after 2 innings.
I don't know. I just don't know. I am a Joe La Sorsa fan. I'm just wondering how confident I am on him working through lefties and righties consistently, or is he a guy like they're using Jake Diekman right now of come in, get the one out on the lefty, please get this out on the lefty and figure it out. But, Diekman's got a lot more power as long as he can throw it in the dang strike zone. He's pretty darn good.
Well, you know what I want to figure out, Evan? I want to figure out baseball trivia that Kevin has prepared for us. And he's been amping it the whole damn day through text messages saying that he's got a tremendous trivia question. So I'm ready, Kevin.
I have.
Let's go.
You have no idea. Of course, the Rays are playing the Red Sox over the course of this weekend, and I was a little taken aback at how easily you all handled the last trivia question that I put forward. So I'm hopefully going to make it a little bit more difficult. We remember 2008, right? How good the Rays were, finally. Took them 10, 11 years to get there, but they eventually got there. If I recall, the Red Sox were pretty decent that year, or they had a lot of all-star selections that year, and it is all-star voting season. I'm sure that'll be a topic that we dive into with Evan at some point, is how many selections the Rays will get in 2023 with them being the best team in baseball.
Right now it's 4.
And who are they?
Maybe Wander, Yandy, Shane, and Randy.
Okay.
Yep.
My guess is someone's going to get snubbed, and it's going to be 3, and everyone's going to be pissed off. But
I think it's going to even be 3 or 2.
And to me, that's 4 with Josh Lowe getting snubbed right now.
Yep.
But he's got another month. So whatever.
Back to the topic.
Yeah.
In 2008, the Red Sox had 6 All-Star selections. I want you all collectively to name 5 of those 6 names.
Oh, we got this.
Okay.
I'm assuming Manny
Last name?
Ramirez.
And you said Manny, not Hanley, right?
I said Manny.
Manny Ramirez is correct.
You trying to screw with me right there?
Yeah, right. David El Papi Ortiz.
Yeah.
That would be a strike one. He made the 2007 team, the 2006 team, the 2010 team, and a lot more in between, but not that year.
Okay.
Schilling? Was he on that team?
Kurt Schilling, who should be in the Hall of Fame, strike 2. Not an All-Star in 2008.
Okay. Wait.
You all need to hunker down. You need to choke up on the bat a little bit.
Yeah,
start
let's
fouling some balls off. Let's not turn this into a Brandon Lowe down on 3 straight pitches situation.
I sadly like Johnny Damon's popping in my head.
Okay. Let's think. Okay, so catcher Veritek.
I wonder if was that the year? I feel like Veritek didn't have many All-Stars, but I feel like that would have been towards his peak.
Coco Crisp was in that team. Sean Casey was in that team. Gabe Kapler was in that team. Who was the shortstop?
I feel like Veritek's right.
I think Veritek would be one of them.
Let's go with Veritek.
Jason Veritek, 2008, was an All-Star. Very good.
Nice. Mike Lowell.
Oh, was that his big year? Was that
right?
The Marlins?
He would be the third baseman. There would be. I don't think of another third baseman in 08.
I'm trying to think who the. I mean, Pedro.
No. I think he was already gone by then. I don't know. I like Mike Lowell, man.
All right, go Mike Lowell.
Let's go, Mike Lowell.
Mike Lowell, 2008. Let's see. He was an All-Star in 2007. Was he an All-Star in 2008? No, he was not an All-Star in 2008.
Was Pedro one of them?
Last name? Who's Pedro?
Martinez.
Oh, Pedro Martinez. Okay. No, he was not. Let me run through the list here. You're out of strikes.
All right.
You can't come back to the batter's box.
What is it?
Manny Ramirez, Jason Veritek, J.D. Drew, the legend.
Get out of here.
Kevin Ulises.
Uke.
Somebody named Jonathan Papelbon. And Jose Altuve before Jose Altuve.
The Pedroia.
Dustin Pedroia.
Yeah.
Pedroia we should have gotten. Pedroia was bad.
That was bad.
Pedroia was bad. Actually,
Euclid, all of them. We should have gotten them.
I don't think Euclid would have been high on my list. I would have said like Euclid. Nah, I would have never guessed that Euclid was an All-Star. But
you should have gotten more than 2.
We should have gotten more than 2.
Pedroia for sure. We should have gotten.
And I would think Papelbon.
Yeah, I mean, I actually was thinking who the closer was then.
Well, you know what? We are thinking around, along the same lines because I also went to the 2000. Well, no, not the 2008. I went to the 2004 Boston Red Sox, and I saw a guy who played 49 games, gets traded midseason, and guess what? Makes history and gets a World Series ring. His name is Doug Mankiewicz. What is his?
Doug Mankiewicz? Oh, my God.
What is his career WAR according to Baseball Reference?
He's really tough because he was like, it's first basemen don't really have like fielding metrics that bring them up. But I feel like his peak, he was a phenomenal fielder. Like Keith Hernandez-esque. Not as long as Keith did it. Oh my God. I'm gonna undersell this one too, and I know it. I don't know. 21.2.
21.2. Kevin?
Doug Mientkiewicz. You know what? You think I need Perry? I need some Perry
Get
assistance.
some Perry in your life. Don't
Okay.
tell him, don't ask him. Don't ask him though.
Okay.
Don't
Come
ask
on,
him.
Perry.
Don't
All
let
right,
him cheat.
let's go. Here we
Don't
go.
cheat.
Oh, it's actually
Oh,
Perry.
it's the real one.
Perry.
I have the fake one too. There we go.
And the fake one. There you go.
What do you think, Perry?
Oh, he's getting creeped
Doug
out.
Mientkiewicz. All right,
Yeah.
let's use our thinking caps here.
Okay.
Probably played at least a decade in the league. I think a majority of his career was with the Minnesota Twinkies. I'm getting some James Loney career stat vibes from Mientkiewicz. Probably a 280 career hitter, couple gold gloves to his name. I don't think he got to 200 career home runs, probably more like 170, 180. I'm going to go lower than Evan on this and say his career WAR is 19 and a half.
Well, boys, 21.2, 19.5. You guys love Dougie. Doug. Because Doug Mienkiewicz's career WAR, according to Baseball Reference, it's 11.8. Yes, he won a World Series ring in 2004.
Played 12 years.
He played 12 years, got one Gold Glove, not 150 home runs. He got 66 home runs.
Really?
And his career slash line was a 271 average, 360 on base, 405 slugging.
He got MVP votes in 2001.
Well, you know, at 14th, and 765 OPS and an OPS plus of 100, 100 OPS plus. So guess what? He got his career, got his ring. Good for him.
You know what's interesting
What?
is I'm now looking him up. In 3,800 plus at bats, he only struck out 472 times.
Wow, that good.
He never struck out more than 100 times. He only struck out more than 75. Oh wait, no. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong count. He only struck out more than 70 once.
Wow.
So he's like a Tony Gwynn. He's like Tony Gwynn.
Except he's not.
He is Tony Gwynn.
Well, he's a very
He's a poor.
he's like
he's
a
great
homeless
value.
man
He's
version
a
of
great
Tony
value
Gwynn.
Tony Gwynn.
He's a poor man's almost clone, but not quite Tony Gwynn.
Multiply his WAR by like 7 and you're there.
There you go.
And guess what? You got Gwynn.
Yeah, you got Gwynn. Yeah. All right.
Oh,
that was good.
boy. Yeah. No. Okay. Well, one thing he had going for him, you couldn't fit his last name on the back of his jersey. That's for sure.
I'll give anyone. I'll give you $10 if you can spell Mientkiewicz, Kevin, because you've been staring at Ulises.
Yeah, I've
All
been
right,
staring
well,
at
I've got it up on Baseball Reference.
Oh, so he's looking.
No,
You don't get.
no,
You're
no.
out. Done.
All right,
Done.
all good. Perry Spellman.
Dude, if Perry does this, we quit the podcast and we go on tour with Perry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Evan, where can people find your work?
You can check me out at Twitter at Closky WTSP. I'm always posting some Rays tidbit a day. Also, please head to 10tampabay.com. Talking Rays. You know, it's Bucks OTA season, so every Tuesday I'm running out there. And then it's Lightning off season. We usually talk about them, but Rowdies are hot. SEC, they refuse to play 9 games in conference because, you know, they're scared. So we talk about all that stuff. And but yeah, hit me up. Please interact with me on Twitter. Love talking baseball, as you can tell from my appearances. So as long as you're not a jerk, let her rip. I'll respond.
That should be your tagline. As long as you're not a jerk.
I love that tagline.
As
Yeah, I
long as you're
love
not a jerk. Because there's some jerks out there that I don't respond to.
There's a lot of jerks out there.
Yeah, there's some,
A lot of jerk sports. Okay. Quick question. Who wins the NBA Finals?
Nuggies. Denver.
No way. Heat in 5. Let's go.
No, it's going to be Nuggets.
Oh,
Jimmy Butler's going to put the whole team, the whole state of Florida on his shoulders. Let's go.
lame.
I'm in.
All right.
Kevin? No, Kevin? What's your
Gotta go with the Florida boys. Miami Heat all the way.
Let's go.
Okay. I guess I'm the only one that's objective here.
Yes.
There we go. Yeah. All right. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Stay safe, and we will talk to you next week.